Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean, and if you hear noise in the background, I am at a coffee shop on the life of an online entrepreneur, right? No, I'm actually at a coffee shop because I have six beautiful, wonderful, awesome, loud kids at home, and I'm not able to do work there today because they're all pretty much all sick. So, so anyway, I'm over here. So hopefully, I wanted to do this video to help with bundling. I wanted to do this video to kind of answer a question that keeps on coming up and up and up and up. One of the things that Amazon has in their terms is that you are not allowed to bundle a generic item with a brand name item. Okay, and so a lot of people are saying, hey, well, I'm not going to be able to bundle my private label product with a brand name item because they say you can't do a generic item. That's you know going against Amazon policy. Um, and so I wanted to do a video on that particular question. But I'm going to start it off with asking you a question first, okay? So, so what? Let me go to an Amazon thing real quick. Um, so what is a generic item? Okay, what's the difference between a generic item and a branded item? Give you a few seconds to think about it. What is the difference between a generic item and a branded item? Okay, so let's talk why Amazon does this policy, and then I will answer that question, okay? So, Amazon does not want, the last thing that Amazon wants is for their customers to be deceived in any way. I mean, how would you feel if you went out and you went to a listing and it said a Canon 550, I have no idea, I'm not a good with cameras, but a Canon 550 Super Deluxe SSL camera with premium mic stand or something like that. How would you feel if you got the camera and you got the tripod and the tripod came and it was just some like completely generic thing? You thought it was going to be like a Canon tripod, like a really professional tripod, or maybe it was um, Canon 550 SSL whatever camera with with extra lens or something like that, and the lens was this completely generic lens that really wasn't gosh, it doesn't even fit into the Canon or something like that. Well, you've just been deceived, and you're going to call back to Amazon and say, you know what, I was deceived. This is false advertising. I'm going to sue you, Amazon, or I'm going to ask for my money back, or whatever it is, or I'm just not going to ever shop with you ever again. They do not want that to happen. Now, Now, that is with a generic item. That's pairing something and making it seem as though that item is meant to be with that Canon branded product or that whatever branded product, okay? Now, on the other hand, let's go back to the question, what makes the difference between a branded product and a generic product? Well, a generic product does not have a brand, right? It does not have a label. It does not say what it is. So if I have, say, a Canon SSL 550 camera, and then I also have a Soto Labs 560 tripod, well, premium tripod. Now I know I'm telling the customer what they are getting. They can go out and research that tripod. They can see what the quality of that tripod is by itself. It has its own brand. It has its own registered brand. It has its own. It's registered to a company. It's not just some generic thing, right? Or if I did say a Canon 550 SSL camera with Soto Labs high quality 17 mega super duper pixel lens. Um, Now that is a branded product. It doesn't need to be a like a Fortune 500 brand product. It doesn't have to be a Fortune 10 product. It brand it it just has to have its own brand on it. It has to have its own label. So I'm looking here as this is an example here. So we see here, Focusrite Scarlett Home Solo Recording Studio Bundle. Okay, customer reviews obviously aren't that great, but it doesn't matter. Okay, because we're looking at this bundle. Let's see what the sales rank is on this thing. 8,000 in musical instruments. It sells. It sells. And if we looked at the history in this, maybe using whatever software to look at the history of this, we can see, how long this has actually been on here. But look at what it comes with. Okay, bundle includes one Focusrite Scarlett Solo audio interface. Have you ever heard of a Focusrite Scarlett Solo audio interface? No, I've never heard of it. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously this Focusrite thing. So this is Focusrite who's selling that particular thing in that bundle. But look what they have next. Now, I know because I do podcasting and I've been in the sound industry for quite a while. Audio Technica is not a Focusrite brand. So they have one Audio Technica AT 2020 studio microphone, and then they have on top of that they have another brand, a PreSonus HD7 headphone set. Okay, and then on top of that they have Belton Live Lite software. So here we have already multiple brands on here. Now, have you ever heard of Belton? Okay, or a Belton? No, actually, I've never heard of it either. I've heard of Mackie, I've heard of PreSonus, I've heard of Audio Technica. I've never heard of a Belton. Does that mean that this is a generic item? No, because it is a brand. It is a brand. You call your items something. Don't just you don't have an apple peeler. You have a Soto Labs Inc. A premium apple peeler. Okay. Nobody wants to see a generic item. Okay, and if you put a generic item with another thing, that means that you're trying to deceive your customer. Okay, so in this bundle already you have all of these different quote unquote branded items. Okay, and why are they branded? Because they branded themselves. Okay, so when you're putting together bundles, if you're putting together something that is your own product, call it something. Call it whatever you like. Put your own brand on it, and that way your customer knows what it is. Okay, so you don't want to have just a completely generic brand. In fact, the only way you can really even find generic, really, is if you want to find some generic Viagra or Zyrtec. It looks like you can do that. Generic, I don't know, peeler. I don't know. Is by actually searching for something completely generic. Generic, right here. See, generic 3-in-1 avocado slicer peeler skinner. You actually have to search for generic to find generic, okay? So what Amazon's basically trying to tell you is name your product something. Call it something. Brand it as something, okay? Brand it as your company. It could be your company name, whatever, apple peeler, or it could be whatever, but it cannot be one of these generic things, okay? It can't just be a completely generic thing, all right? And it's funny because our team, like I was talking with Brett, he's like, I've never had this problem before, I don't know why folks are having this problem, and we finally realized it's because we always name our brand something, or we always have some kind of a brand associated with it, or at least the name of the product associated with it, and because of that, we've never had a problem with Amazon whatsoever. Because they look at it and they go, okay, cool, it's a brand, it's a name brand. I can see that Soto Labs Inc. Banana Pillar is a name brand, Banana Pillar, and so my customer can go and research that particular product. Okay, so I hope this helps, guys. I hope this helps when it comes to this. Remember, if you are going to have your own product on there, all you have to do is name it something. All you have to do is brand it. Okay, I mean, if we look at here, I'm going to do this one more time just to kind of reiterate. If we go to apple peeler, I want everyone to know. I want to ask everybody who's watching this. Tell me, have you ever heard of a Johnny Apple Peeler, maybe, or a Starfreight. Have you ever heard of the company Starfreight? Or Back to Basics, or Dash, or OXO, or New Star Food Service, or Maxim, or Greenco. Are these top Fortune 500 companies, or by B Chef? Um, Calphalon. Oh, okay, everyone. A lot of people have heard of Calphalon. Maglio, Orblue, Allwear, Briefton's. These are all really, they're not no name brand, but they really are no name brands. They're people have never heard Luby Apple, Norpro. Have you ever heard of these before? Probably not, because they are brands, but they're not popular brands. And so Amazon is just saying, don't put something completely generic and try to deceive your customer. Um, Make it a brand, okay? So if you have, and last example, say you have an apple peeler. Say you have a New Star Food Service apple peeler, you can't say then with avocado slicer, okay? You can't say with avocado slicer, because then you're deceiving your customer, thinking that they're getting a New Star Food Service apple peeler and New Star Service slicer. But if you said New Star Food Service apple peeler with My Silent Team avocado slicer, or Soto Labs avocado slicer, that's a whole different thing, because your customer now knows they're getting two separate companies, products from two separate companies in one bundle. Okay? All right, cool. So I hope that helps, and I'll catch you later. See ya.